right, but it looks like we're going to be getting into it here on Blood Run. It doesn't get any more classic of a map than this. Kilson on a keel. We've got Kilson Klein is all the way down.
Hey, we've got Silence up on the keel as well, so it means I don't have to eat my shoe. I'm happy about that. Well, the action,
one shoe zoot.
the action can get started now, though. Silence Up, actually, we've been able to push onto. Maybe going to get to see some more of his projectiles. However, Zron is just pushing Kilson all over the place, just as Avik comes in for the refrag onto Silence Up.
It's going to be Avik looking for a little bit of nailgun spam down the way. Zron suiciding because that's fun. We got Avik looking at the heavy armor. Has the right idea with that tri-bolt, but didn't quite have the timing. But nobody's really looking at him like, hey, he's down there. He's throwing out all that tri-bolt. Silence Up coming back around the corner, but eating so much damage. A great rail out of Avik and Kilson to finish off.
Yeah, Big getting a strong advantage early on in the map and the series. Just covering the tri-bolt area at the moment. You've got access to the heavy armor. You can see down towards the mega health. It's just a great spot. But all of a sudden, we've got Myztro. They've just moved in together up the stairway. And now they have position on this. There's going to be a jump across to get onto the heavy armor. However, Zron sacrifices his life in order to take it. And you see that Kilson's got tons of health now.
Yeah, this is the great thing about Keel. When he is stacked, you know it. But of course, here in Blood Run, setting up in the power room can be such a big deal. He's getting a little bit sneaky here. A few pages from Dewey's book, but he's looking to delete some of these totems and flush everybody down towards LG. But can he actually commit to a fight down here and make something happen? Avik coming around the corner and firing at Kilson. I think they got the slip without anybody realizing.
That wasn't too bad. We've got a push on that. Avik's just sitting up on heavy. He does take him. Kilson managing to find a frag. Silence Up does go down over here. He's not had a good start to the map, sadly for him. And with the build-up now towards the first quad damage, it is going to be Big who've got the room, but pushing in from the side. Silence Up doing a lot. Zron gets the kill, and that is going to be quad coming in from Myztro.
Oh, jeez. But look at that quad. It's up there. Somebody's got to get it. Silence Up RJing back up in order to get the pickup. I mean, it's so disastrous when you know you've got a great frag on the quad carry, but no way to capitalize on it. Silence going to be taking away a little bit of health. They're going to be looking to close off this 2-frag gap between them, but he's got a fistful of grenades and shotgun shells. He's not finding anybody from Big, though.
He's got some totems. There's overstacking as well, so that's plenty of health to work with. Avik found Zron. However, Silence Up can refrag on that. It's 2 a difference right now, and as the power-up has now faded, I think Silence Up has got a good chance of making a big impact. With this amount of health and armor, over 300 collected. Kilson makes the jump across. He's not going to get anywhere. That heavy is going to stay up. Grenade hasn't yet landed, but his LG is strong.
Fantastic LG that work there. Yeah, so Silence Up still looking to plunge in the damage with the tri-bolt, looking for anybody coming out of the TP. Laying down a grenade, usually the splash damage isn't all that damaging, but the information that somebody's coming through the teleporter, that is worth its weight. But Silence Up still looking for this playthrough. He's just depending on Zron to push somebody through that teleporter, but it's not going to happen. Avik is going to get that frag instead, and that means that this side of the map just got way more awkward for Myztro. Whoa!
Oh. The damage he just managed to get onto Kilson before going down. There's going to be nail gun onto him. Kilson should die. Zron being attacked from Avik. There's going to be a jump across the heavy. Fascinating position that Avik was using, but still takes down the frag. They're the first to crack 10. But he's run into Silence Up. The lightning gun from the Dutch player. Incredibly nice.
Yes, indeed. Kilson looking to restack back here, but I love these little sniper shots with the rail. Able to whittle them on down and take control of the power room. We got 10 seconds to the protection. Zron's looking to throw down a totem and stay alive just a little bit longer. We've got Kilson getting taken down as well, but oh, that grenade getting the last laugh, if not the power-up itself.
That Silence Up that managed to get himself onto protection. He's going to drop down onto LG. This is a long way down there, LG. Making it difficult to travel, but he's got so much health and armor. Does look to close off the frag onto Kilson then, I believe it was.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see that Silence Up using the last few seconds of this protection just to take the top here, looking to flush out anybody on the spawn. Not quite able to secure a frag off of it, however. So they might be just going for a linear chase. Megas could be back up. We've got Heavy coming back up soon as well, but Zron with a great shotgun in order to take all of the above. And this over as well. I dig it.
Silence goes for a rocket jump. I think he hit a grenade at the same time as moving in with the weapons. And there's a good rotation at the moment from Myztro CIS. It's quite scary for Big. Zron does get a lot of rocket damage going on. The mega health is up in 10 seconds time. We've got a push from Silencer. Tons and tons of damage. Zron from up above at Tribal. Avec pushing in with Nail Gun, but he's got Zron to deal with as well. And a fadeaway grenade is what kills him. Mega's now up. And Zron still so much to deal with. He's on about 1 point of health, but gets taken down. So Mega is acquired by Big.
Silencer just got some kind of call. He ducked out from that armor in order to go down below. Oh, but what another great pineapple. Very nutritious indeed. And another fantastic rail coming out of the teleporter. But with only 30 HP, even he's got to leave at some point. 20 to 17, still incredibly close.
Yeah, I like that Big managed to interrupt that control that Myztro were getting for a little bit. They got themselves to the last Mega and the last Heavy, but it is Silencer and Zron that I think are doing a little better overall in the fights. Mutual frag between Avec and Silencer. Zron looking to take heavy armor, and on the build-up towards this quad, it's going to be really important. He's not done much damage at all. We're going to go in and listen to some comms building up this power-up.
Heal got it.
Yeah, he's going shotgun at I think.
Okay.
Go rocket
Don't
now.
see him. Heavy 16.
I bought a Mega.
Yep, I see. Glen 100. I'll try to steal heavy then. Delay if possible.
Nice 100. He, probably.
He is 50 heavy. I can rail. Just listen.
I'm your rocket down. He's at the B.
Yeah, tribal. Nail. Should be over now. One was nail.
Enemy at shotgun.
A was kill, I think.
I'm
Other
going
is
now,
B.
tribot.
I see B.
I love that they're calling out, saying, all right, just be silent, let's listen out for some information as they're trying to run away from the power-up carrier. They did incredibly well going up versus it, and they've still managed to retain a lead. Really nice, calm. That's what I love about Silencer and Zron, the calmness.
So placid and peaceful. And you compare that to what's happening on screen with just these amazing shots happening left and right. And Avec nearly getting pummeled into the wall there, taking away quite a bit of health. He's got all three of his totems up, at least until one gets deleted. But as you said there, we've got just 2 frags between them, 50 seconds to a protection. And my favorite thing about Blood Run has always been the fact that showing up to the power-up, figuring out what that timing is, how possible it is to rush back in as a fresh spawn and just take the power-up anyway, it's always a bit of a gamble.
We're looking for mid-air. It's Ronald, nice. 1 point of health. I did not think he was going to survive after going for the heavy armor with 2 enemy players coming into the map, thrown into the room. Hits 1 rail, and all the damage he's getting right now is just mad profit after that attack on heavy.
And of course, here with 10 seconds to the armor, it's going to be a little bit awkward because you've got to put somebody out there to at least make a presence on it without necessarily committing and then get back in for the power play. As you can see, Avec is having to do everything by himself right now. Kilson's actually got a really good spawn, but can he get back in here in time? Avec able to take down Silencer. We've got the protection up in 2 seconds, and Avec, it looked like he was leaving it up for Kilson, but he's coming back in to get the pickup himself.
Yeah, Kilson did loads of work over there, defending secret side of the power-up room. They're only 1 kill behind. Avec, tons of health there. That's Silencer, Zron, who's got loads and loads. Avec not able to get any further damage. However, there's this nice little huddle of totems, but it's just as I say that, it disappears.
It's always amazing on this map how much potential there is to just completely deny the power-up runner from doing any significant damage. So many places to hide, so many places that are just choke points that you can back out of and escape both the quad and the protection. But Avec doesn't really care about 17 health or not. What was that you were saying about +4 before?
He just keeps going for it. Fortunately for him, I think Kilson finished off the frag. I gotta say though, the fact that Myztro CIS have missed out on the last 2 power-ups, but they play so intelligently around the map to not give up kills towards the power-up holder, and even sometimes managing to get 2 versus 1s on the one player who hasn't got it. I mean, they're doing an amazing, amazing job at that. Still though, an incredibly close game, and it could go either way.
I think that's the nicest possible way to say that they're losing control.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. They're definitely struggling, and there's a huge contest in control almost all the time. Zron, so low on HP. He's got another totem hiding up around the map. He can stack up on this, but it's not like he's playing with a whole lot. Moving now into the heavy room. It's up in about 5 seconds. He lands the rail. That is going to be Kilson having to push back. If they can hold this room for another second, that's going to be heavy. He escapes unscathed.
As you mentioned, weapons are a bit of a problem here, but that nail gun is going to be more than enough, plus the rail, really great damage, nearly nailing that really extreme angle as well, but with 14 seconds to quad, this is a great precedent to set. He's dealing with it by himself at the moment, though. He's going to need some backup very, very quickly. Kilson goes down. Avic is still there to deal with, but it looks like they've given up this quad for now and might just be leaving it.
Yeah, I mean, getting fragged about 5 seconds before it spawns. The spawn's over on the other side of the map. There's just not much they can do about it. Zron's got to be careful, but he still manages to take down the rail. He really needs some health bubbles of some sort. It's so difficult to like gain any confidence in a run without that. Both of the enemy players are low. However, we have had Avic just taking away the mega health. He's going to find a player down here. That shotgun is going to say goodbye to Kilson.
Yeah, Big isn't being incredibly passive here. They're, you know, showing up at enough choke points to do some damage. Even if they go down, they've, like you said, made Thrawn worry more about getting 25s. But yeah, playing out this corner as well is going to be the last few seconds of that quad. And still only down by 6 frags. Now, this tribal on the top of things, you really got to respect it. Avic goes down on his way over to the armor. Zron is going to be reaping that reward.
Nice little nail gun jump there to acquire it too. Good little trick to pick up, but not too hard to do as well. Don't sacrifice much health jumping in that way.
All right, but Zron's going to be a full stack. Oh, geez, almost taking Silence Set out completely with that tribal on their way through Mega. But here comes the play through the teleporter. I like this. It's a really well-coordinated attack, and Kilson never saw it coming. And again, the question is, where was Avic in all this? Sure, you have players kind of split up and take other sides of the map, but they need to collapse very quickly for some of these 2v1 fights.
We've got Avic coming back a little bit. It feels like the last minute has just been an absolute grind from Myztro. They've established such a nice lead when it just wasn't the case before. But they get a hold of a power-up, and they seem to be able to do whatever the hell they please with it. Rockets from Zron, putting them 1 away from 40. And we've got within sniffing distance of getting towards the last protection of this map.
Yeah, this power play is not really all that appealing for Big right now. I mean, they're all fresh spawns. They can maybe push in with some totems and some grenades, but if they don't get the damage, they're certainly not going to be getting the power up, and they're going to be in a really tough position. 9 frags to go for Myztro, and as Ron takes away the protection, yeah, I mean, Big is still in this. They're still trying to throw out this damage, but the coordination just isn't there. We're seeing them get taken out from both sides every time.
I find it really weird actually between Avic and Kilson, because one of them is attacking a power-up, the other's going to pick up the heavy armor. They're not really on the same page, and that's what I worry about with those two players, especially when Kilson has typically been dual focused. I feel that the coordination is a lot harder for them.
Yeah, I wonder, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to get a listen at their comms, but we've already seen the difference between somebody like Liquid and somebody like Myztro. I mean, just really different call-outs. They emphasize different things, but all in all, it's very important to know, hey, I need help in mid.
They're completely outside of Seb. Kilson's dreams there of trying to get the mega health, and they're only 5 away, and they can secure themselves the first map. It definitely looked very hard for them at the beginning, and I feel that Big were incredibly impressive at the start. They were also securing power-ups. I mean, it was really, really good, but they're not able to capitalize on every single opportunity. And now there's only 3 frags to go. We've got over 10 a difference between the two teams. And with the amount of time there is left, we're looking for, again, pure perfection. And even just mistakes, lots of mistakes from Myztro in order for this to go sour.
Yeah, it's not even going to be about the quad anymore. It's just these last 3 frags. Zron down to 7 HP, but still doing a lot of damage with the starter shotgun. 25 damage from that kind of distance is more than enough to allow Silence to chase through the teleporter and finish off with a nice pineapple there. And they're setting up for this quad, but they've got to know that, yeah, Big, they're not going to show up. I mean, even if you get the quad, even if you're able to push in and steal this area away, you're not going to get it for free. Like, nobody does that without getting fragged.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like they almost have to push in, because if
doesn't feel good.
It's like a lose-lose situation almost. Silence managed to get one with the grenade. We've got the quad being picked up, but Avic still secures it. So there is life left in the lungs. Only 5 points of health, though. That totem deactivated for the moment. It's a good rail. And it might be pushed around the corner again soon. I think that was Kilson actually nearby him.
And that rail would be enough. Oh, okay. If it wasn't that rail, it was certainly that one that is going to cripple that quad run. And even if they had the time, this is 1 frag to go. Zron's looking to put it together. Silence Up back over at Power Up, looking for anybody to recover over there. And here comes the last shot from behind. Kilson goes down, and there's the first map going to Myztro.
Yep, you can tell they look so excited about that right now. Again, it's these are guys ranked second in Europe at the moment. But we mentioned earlier that they are QuakeCon champions already. Right now, it's another stepping stone on the way to land victory. So every map win right now, it's a formality. That's what they're treating it as. I don't think we'll see any pop-offs until we get...
I don't know. For Zron, that is very close to a pop-off. That kind of smile.
We're getting some smiles. I like that.
Wow, that's kind of insane for him.
Zron is such...
Calm down, Zron.
He's such a nice guy. He's so laid back. Really, really cool character in the community, and it's good to see him continue getting successes.
Absolutely, and you know, just the fact that I think Silence Up is feeling better. I didn't get a look at the actual like frag split between them in that fight, but it really seemed like they were both pulling their weight.
I felt like at the beginning Silence Up was struggling a little, that there was a lot of frags going against him. He just seemed to be falling victim, but then we started seeing him hit those combo shots, you know, with the grenades, with the projectiles, and even sort of grenade combined with the shotgun or the nail gun and so on. It is just looking fantastic. And his rails too were on fire.
Moments of brilliance from Avik, though, got to be said. Some really, really good stuff, and Kilson had some fantastic grenades as well. Blood Run it's one of the oldest maps in Quake. You know, it's been in Quake World, it's been in Quake 2, it's been in Quake 3, it's been in Quake Live. I think there was a port in Quake 4, but now that it's back here in Quake Champions, it's amazing to me how many of the beats are the same. Just the fact that you've got that power-up room, it's got an extra little pathway in there now, but actually that's made it even more difficult to hold now.
Just there's more entrances.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's always three.
There's more to cover. You've got the totems back there. You're going to be dealing with spam coming from that really oblique angle. You've got the jump pad on the other side. And even if you die trying to take the power-up room, you can likely respawn and just keep the pressure on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We're moving into Awoken, which is kind of a very different story. We're looking at something totally new over here.
Instant classic, however, must be said.
Completely. It was released earlier in the year, and we're actually going to get to see it now. Guys, we're moving into map number 2 here of the final quarterfinals over the QuakeCon 2v2 Open. We've got big Myztro EU on Kilson for the moment, who is settling with kill 2, but we've got a little bit of a change up here. We've got Zron, who's gone over the Strogan Pika, and straight away getting some impact with it.
A European player playing Strog. Wow.
Zron has actually been practicing Strogan Pika quite hard, to be honest. I know there was a lot of extra thoughts after Dahang at DreamHack Tour. Made a bit of a shocker on everyone with that champion. There have been changes to the champion since, but it's still something that Zron enjoys adopting. I believe he said it's his favorite champion at the moment.
I mean, it used to be in Quake that, you know, before a QuakeCon, you would really go into deep hiding, develop some strategies, keep them way up your sleeve, keep them in your hat, and then pull them out for QuakeCon. But you know, you don't really get that opportunity anymore. I mean, there's so many online tournaments, there's so many events, and of course these guys are streaming all the time, but they still manage to find ways to surprise us here at QuakeCon. 3-5 as we kick off the first minute. Zron, as you said, is going to be coming out here as a Strog, getting a double rail all the way down to the armor. No frags came from it, but it's a good feather to have in his cap.
Oh, and he's just found another one on the teleporter exit. Nice. Avik looking to fight back. I think, did Zron fall out of the map there? I think he might have killed himself on the pillar or something like that.
Because it's less embarrassing.
Well, we're seeing another strong start from Big at the start of this map, but are they going to be able to keep this going, to sustain this? We've got the Pika coming out, looking for some extra damage, manages to take down Avik, and Kilson's going to flee a little bit. He's got a heavy right in front, but it's going to be interrupted by Silencep. Zron takes him down. Now Avik is looking to fend backwards, takes down Silencep on his way, still challenging Zron. Going up the bounce pads on, still refrags, but they're coming in and in and in, straight off the spawn. With the quad coming up, Kilson almost knocked off of the edge. 2 seconds till it comes up, but Silencep dies as well. Who's there? Who is going to be able to get the power up? There's a race towards it. Silence, it looks like Kilson is going to get it.
That quad so low. Was so lonely, and that's really going to offset the timing for the next one, and that's going to leave Kilson with the pickup of the quad fairly clean. But as everybody else left it, he knows that they're going to be back in LG, they're going to be back by the teleporter, and they're going to be very difficult to track down with this quad. You can see that Silencep has gone into deep hiding here, coming back through the teleporter as that quad is about to run out. And Kilson, he found Zron, but finally Silencep goes down.
It was a fairly late quad pickup, so it's just fair. So what's that going to be, about 8 seconds past the minute?
Yeah, 8 to 10, yeah.
Okay, so the next one will come up at 8 seconds past, what, 4 minutes and 8 seconds, roughly?
Never math on screen.
Sorry, it's not even math. It's literally just reading almost, it feels like. I can't do that. Nevertheless, this is a great advantage for Big off of the start. They're 14-7. Obviously, coming off a quad, you'd expect something like this to happen, and it's been very nice for them. However, Myztro, they're going to have to lock things down a little bit. Both in LG room.
Wow.
What can they do?
I mean, Avic is putting some pressure on it. It's very difficult to get any free damage off of somebody in LG room, but Avic has done it. He's thrown down oh man, that was almost a telefrag there even, but what a great response, Rocket. Avic finishing off another with LG, coming back in here towards the rail just to get the pickup and just to get some of the health off that totem. Controlling the position for Avic will be important, but that rail has certainly set a precedent here, and Kilson is putting himself in the same position, just kind of baiting that same angle, and he's eating the damage for it. Maybe don't stand there.
How's Ron hitting all those rail shots? That's insane.
I don't know, he's flicking his mouse so that the rails curve.
They're not playing Visor or anything like that, so that's wild. Kilson does get himself onto heavy. Sunset's right up above. We've got a Pika coming across. He's looking to crash into him, but it's going to get taken down by Avic in time. However, we've got protection up in a moment. Myztro currently better set up, but it's a late start for it. One rail hit. It's going to finish off Kilson. We've got Silence Up who's died, but Ron gets the last jump onto it. Lot of pressure from Avic. And however, guys, to move into this power-up, we are going to be able to jump into some comms.
They got Mega.
Yeah, everything's heavy.
Help,
Yes.
I'll die.
Heavy 52.
Yep. Okay. Rail, passive. He's stacked. I'm running away. Heal water. I'm Mega now.
It is so vital to hear that, you know, I'm going passive, I'm weak, I need to get some 25s, and there are plenty of them here on Awoken. They're just so far out of the main areas of combat, so you need to tell your teammate, hey, I'm not going to be there the next time you're getting 2v1'd.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that Sunset wasn't able to get over to Zron fast enough at Mega when he was getting taken down with the protection. Did feel like there was no sense of urgency though. I know that they're relaxed and calm individuals, but currently at a loss, and we're not seeing sort of an overextension there with any communication right now. Which is, you know, good or bad, I don't know.
We're about to find out.
Yeah,
Silence Up
exactly.
doing a ton of LG damage here, enough to even nullify that heavy armor. It's going to be traded off on the rail, and Zron, he wants some blood. He wants to take down, well, I guess he's just going to have to settle for killing some totems, but that still does some good. Coming back in for a great rail angle. I don't think he's even, he's got the pickup at least, but getting it from both sides with the LG. Still 13-26, and like Machiavelli was saying, we have the potential here to go quite a few maps.
I gotta say, I'm surprised. Was not expecting this.
On Awoken.
Yeah, completely.
Okay.
Completely. Avic does get hurt a lot from that Pika. Kilson does take down the Strog. And here's a push from Avic, that lightning gun. Tribolt does take him down eventually after fading away. Zron with pressure onto Kilson. That's going to be power up in a second. He's getting flanked completely. We've got, what? I think almost everybody died there. Kilson survived with 1 point of health, and I think that the quad got pushed off of the map.
Sinker is such a troll. He just put that power up there knowing that people just get knocked off all day.
I mean, it's brilliant, right?
It's glorious. It's fantastic. So Kilson just looking for anybody to rain down on him, but Zron getting the peeker frag on Avic, actually. Kilson moving back through TP. He's got one player to chase, but decides to break off towards LG. He's finding a fully stacked Silence there. So much health for him, and there's a great collapse from Myztro.
Pushing forward from this, with Big having twice the score right now. We're not yet halfway through this, but it's already a telling sign that Big are looking to equalize the maps, because they've not dropped the ball at all in these 7 minutes. Mega's going to be up in a moment. Sunset will secure it, but they're really playing a lot kind of outside of that rail room right now.
Yeah, that pause for the Mega kind of took them out of the main fight for this half of the map. Great rockets from down the pipe, though. He's going to be looking for a little bit of LG up top. Not quite getting the secured frag. Maybe that last rocket, but not. Big is still on the run. Silence Up looking a little bit shaky. It's still a long time, of course, before this power-up comes up, but even without the protection or quad available, this is the side of the map that you want to be on and have weapons loaded up for.
That was Zron who was able to get onto the heavy. However, he took a ton of damage. Silence Up probably wants to die in some way so that he can respawn for the protection with a better stack of some sort.
And with Silence Up fairly weak, he's going to be looking for some pretty passive rail angles, getting a solid one on Kilson and assisting for that frag, and just keeps nailing in these hits. I'd been surprised if one of those grenades would have donked him from across the map, but the pressure is certainly on. And he just keeps getting him. Oh my god. A great rail to pineapple to rail combo. A beautiful sandwich.
Okay.
And Silenceup is just keeping it going, even without any stack, even without any items. Nobody's really pressuring, and he takes away the protection for free here. He's going to be looking to hand that off to his teammate, though, and I can't really naysay that decision whatsoever.
No, not at all. I mean, the mega health was up, so maybe they could have gone over there. However, it's a risk pushing through choke points. So we are going to have Zron, who's got the protection. Oh my god, Avik falls out of the map. That looked barely like Zron contributed to that. That's just almost a full misstep.
He's been taking too many lessons from the Bond lately here.
Kilson had such a large amount of health and armor then. I'm surprised almost he didn't die in the end going up versus the protection, but the protection's faded away, so don't need to worry about that threat. Oh, the airborne just then. That was a long-range rocket.
A bit of an angry rail thrown back in his face, but it didn't quite connect, so Kilson can still loop back around the other side of the map and come back for the attack. Heavy Armor is going to be back up to drop down on, but as you can see, Avik getting a nice pair of LG frags, and Kilson's going to go, you know what, you made the frags, you've earned yourself the armor, I'm going to take over and try to get some rails on the rail itself. The grenades are going to help, but Silenceup is going to be doing the damage.
Silenceup there worries me because he was looking at the heavy armor area. I'm concerned that they don't have the timing for it. It's really important that each team at this level is keeping timings of the two major items on the map, heavy armor and mega health.
And now it's a bit of a task to time the power-up as well. It's been delayed a couple times, so Silenceup looking for that last bit of starter shotgun damage, getting it done, but Kilson's grenades are turning it right back around, and his LG, that was amazing LG. He had no health. That was the right call to collapse on him and finish him off, but he came out swinging.
Oh god, Pika, that's just come out there. Zron is so low, however his shotgun manages to get him one of them, but we've still got Avik and Kilson almost pushing to the double score. Silenceap takes down Avik. Kilson right back on the refrag. We've got the quad coming up in a moment. Kilson, he's pretty weak, but so is Ron, who's on the chase. He goes with the LG. Sunset manages to find a grenade. And could this be, you know, just before it's too late with the power-up?
It is exactly just before it's too late. I think this quad is going to be huge for Myztro, and with the next quad coming up at the 14-minute mark, this could be enough to kind of tip things back in their favor. I mean, Silenceap is already getting a ton of frags off of this run. He's going to be looking with another perfect LG to track him down before he could escape back up the staircase. Silenceap still wrapping around with the last few seconds, and it doesn't even look like he's been spotted here. This is going to be really rough for Big.
Oh, he's just run out of quad, and Avik's going to be able to take it back, but still an immense run. Zron, he falls down to get himself the heavy armor. He does need a bit of health, but they've brought it within the 15 mark, which is something they were at for quite a long time. However, there's only 4 minutes to go on the time limit. I wonder if Big are just going to slow down the pace of the game a lot, or if they just want to keep things going.
Yeah, sandbagging would be kind of difficult and risky at this point, especially on Awoken. You don't really get to deny frags that long here. Zron is going to be looking for some damage through the TP, just a great pair of rails, but Avik getting that frag back off and maintaining his position, even without any armor, without any health. He's still days away from getting that totem, but they certainly want to put this map in the bag and make their claim on the scoreboard.
Kilson 17 health. Can he get anything more? Zron is just checking out the view with Pika. Manages to take down the German. Avik only 100 health. He does land a rail onto Silenceap. They're putting pressure on him. Good focus fire. But Zron needs to get himself a 2-for-1 at the moment. He's moved away towards the sort of banana area, and the rockets take him down. Avik's only got 1 health, and he somehow survives.
The rockets were great, but the real thing was that totem. You always see somebody kind of backing towards it, and you go, oh, no, here it comes.
Oh, we got protection that's going to be up in just a few seconds. Another obviously important item for the Myztro boys to take if they plan on trying to come back in this, but they're being pushed out of it completely. Zron falls off the map. Kilson destroys Silenceap. Did Zron deny the power-up? I think he did.
It's totally dead. It is gone.
It's really dead.
In previous versions of Quake, whenever the power-up, died, it was just gone. It didn't even drop. There was no other quad, no other pentagram. That was just it. But we get a little bit of a taste of that here in Awoken. But the really important thing will be this final quad. But as you can see, Big is now 3 frags away from closing things off. I don't think we're going to be having quite enough time to see that happen.
Yeah, I don't think so. Unless Big is making some errors, they need to look at locking this down very, very soon. And look how low Kilson is. He almost even manages to get a frag. Avec with a 2-for-1 ultimately. That's going to be only 1 more required. Pushing onto Silence, trying to hold his life. Avic's been terribly strong in that position, but Kilson's there to lock it down. There's the fist bump. We're going to go 1-1, guaranteeing us a 4th map here.
And of course, they're still keeping a tight lid on their reactions. You can see a lot of blinks there, a lot of kind of processing what just happened, but to be honest, that was a pretty solid victory. It was well outside that 15 frag range. Or was it 10? You seem to change it from round to round.
Whatever it was convincing from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like the whole way through. It was solid before even we got to the first power-up, and Myztro kind of dug themselves a hole that they couldn't climb out of at all at any point during the game. We saw some moments of great control from Myztro, but ultimately Big were just super, super strong, disciplined, hitting their shots, and it looked like they were way more coordinated that map than we saw in Blood Run.
Yeah, and even when they were taking a lot of really crazy rail angles from Myztro, they were able to stop that fight in its tracks and recuperate just enough to get that edge. And again, some of these quad runs, it must be said, usually at this tier of play, you look for a lot of effort and actually a lot of success in dodging the quad. But here on Awoken, it wasn't so easy.
No, completely. Well, as you can see on the screen there, Zron is loading into Ruins.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so the pace of the game might slow down a little bit more now. We've had some pretty fast maps overall. I actually honestly say, the games that we've had in the quarterfinals, the pace has been insane. Unless we've been on Blood Covenant or something, It's been incredibly fast-paced action, and from North Americans and Europeans alike.
Getting ahead of me on that one, yeah.
Absolutely.
Blood Covenant in 2v2 is all right. You know, it doesn't go on too long. But it must be said here that Ruins of Sarnath is actually Big's pick. CIS picked Awoken.
So it's a very strange order of victories that we're getting now. Well, guys, we are going to be moving into map number 3. It's Big versus Myztro CIS. This is the last quarterfinal we've got at the QuakeCon 2 versus 2 Open. Avec is on camera first. He's going to be playing Galena. We've got a Visor pick by Kilson.
It's been relatively Visor in this entire tournament, actually. For all of the online cups leading up to this, Visor was kind of a mainstay. There's been a lot more shaking up of it here on LAN.
Yeah, I remember at Tour, it was very much Galena Visor. It was a meta that almost all of the teams were adopting. And now there's a lot of flexibility. It depends map to map. Things change quite a lot. Avec is going to go flying.
Always feels good getting that perfect LG on the jump pad. But the most important thing for Zron there is that he's still got a really good stack up, at least until all that shotgun and all that LG, and that stack just gets whittled away. Getting a relatively free frag like that is going to be rare at this tier of 2v2, but 2-on-1, Myztro just kind of opening things up here. But it's a big fight down here at the armor, and it's still a couple seconds away. It didn't really need to happen like that, but Avic's going to be giving that armor back over to Kilson, who just picked up another beautiful LG frag.
Avic's looking to challenge over on the Mega Health, but he gets up the eyeball and realizes maybe he can't do it. Almost gets a rail. Well, somehow still alive. So Totem, he won't run into that. That would have totally destroyed his stack. He's going to hide one in J-Spot instead.
And maybe that'll do some damage here instead, but we just saw those two Galenas kind of swap places down below. Sounds down looking for the armor. He's got a full sleeve full of grenades, and what a beautiful place to use them. That was just kind of a gimme. They both crowded down on the staircase. It's a dangerous place to be anyway, but with rockets and grenades at the ready, yeah, that was a free frag.
He did like 250 damage in a second. His positioning was amazing. He's going to get another onto Kilson. Silence, maybe time for him to be waking up completely in this series, looking for another. He's even going to push through the teleporter, but Avec is there. Possibly a little bit greedy from Silence, but had that rocket landed, it would have been a continuation. There is going to be Zron, who manages to get a totem frag, and Silence is right there with him, locking down the first quad.
Yeah, getting this armor will be a lot of insurance for this quad run. But as you can see, we've got Big already kind of fading into the backside of the map. Oh, but there's the information from that totem. The damage is nice. Knowing where the quad is even better. As it remains, though, this is going to be Myztro taking away free armor, free mega. And at the end of this quad, Big is going to have a tough time getting back in control.
Oh, he's nice. The starting shotgun with the quad. I believe Avec was hiding down at J-Spot. It's below the lower armor. at the bottom end of the map.
Yeah, just willing to wait on it here as that quad dissipates. 8 seconds to Mega, so a bit of a split and a big opportunity for Silent Step to show up in this room, guns a-blazing with a long-range grenade as well.
Did take him a few shots to manage to get that one, but you know what? Doesn't matter. Absolutely. He had a limited selection of weaponry anyway. I think at that point he only had rail and starting shotgun. He's taken a lot of damage. He's looking to land another grenade. That's going to be heavy up in just a second. Havik spawning in. He's looking to challenge as Ron is there. He actually manages to get rocketed back over it, so he denies the item from them and manages to get a 1-for-1 kill with Kilson.
It must be said that Avik's raw aim today has been nothing short of spectacular. Every time there's a nasty situation, I mean, even his rocket placement has been fairly effective. Taking down that totem, and look at Kilson's position up on top of the ruins, getting a great rail angle and taking full control of top T. I like this a lot.
Kilson's hitting a lot of rail shots. Avik pushes forward, he gets the fadeaway rocket, only 1 away from the score that Myztro has. He manages to heal up a bit. 15 seconds now until we've got the protection.
And that will indeed tie things up 14-14. Kilson coming back through top T. It's going to be a bit of a fight here with the LG, but the Mega's taken. So Zron goes down, but it took a lot of cells, a lot of ammo, and honestly a lot of stack to whittle him down. But here comes this protection, and Kilson somehow is still alive. It's actually going to be Avik getting the pickup for it, but he's only at 10 HP. Right now, that protection isn't protecting much.
How is Kilson still picking up frags? Both of the players from Big are so insanely low, and yet they're profiting madly right now.
This is QuakeCon. They're pretty good.
I mean, they're all right?
And Avik, well, Avik taking away Mega, that's going to be quite a bit more padding for the last few seconds of protection. Like this rocket pop, he wants more of a frag, but he's also ducking away from the intense LG he's catching. And he's going to get railed on by Zron, so actually that protection, initially it gave them a lot of health and armor, but at the end, I think we're going to see Big get back into control.
Oh, well, Zron does get heavy. Sounds like taking a lot of damage just then, but he's got his buddy beside him. But yeah, if you're looking at the stacks, it's definitely Myztro that are weaker for the time being. This score's going it's quite back and forth right now. Feels like the most competitive map that we've had so far.
Yeah, of course, the big deal will be this heavy armor Silence is going to be dropping in. Not exactly at the same time that Zron comes from the staircase, but just enough to kind of even things up. But I think at this point, yeah, it's going to be 2 for the price of 1. Silence up getting out with just a little bit of that armor extra. Only 2 frags in the lead, though.
He's going to look to challenge onto Mega Health. He's going to get over there, but he's not able to do a lot. He gets railed in the process, and a tight angle picked off by Kilson. And that was without the use of the piercing sight. Another 50 armor for the Polish player. Gets rocket bounced a little bit far away, looking for the nail gun. Somehow Zron dodges most of that, but the fadeaway rocket right at the end lands anyway, and there's going to be heavy. Silence with a monster stack. We've got 10 seconds until quad. He wants to try and hold on to as much of this health and armor as he can, but Avik absolutely annihilates him. All right, we're going to jump into comms very quickly for this power-up, guys.
It's 100.
Yeah, I did like 60 to him too. He's in T.
Okay.
Totem gives Mega on heavy.
Okay.
$47. I'm hiding secret. 1 rocket. He was on rail.
Yeah.
On OG. On heavy, they don't know timing. Let's go together.
I mean, I rail.
I'm got cut in direct.
Yeah, I made rail. Of heavy.
Yep,
Rail.
47 heavy. Coming.
Yeah.
Thanks.
X18.
Not railed.
He's red now.
I got Mega now.
Okay.
Always amazing, just the fact that we're seeing just a lot of call-outs with, you know, just going passive, saying that they're going to be going down towards heavy. And I like that bit about, you know, I don't know timing, let's go together. I almost want that on a t-shirt.
Well, Silence up. He's going to be able to get back onto the heavy armor after that frag. Spawns momentarily. There is a little bit of pressure from the other side. Actually, Zron taking the item in the end. They managed to find Kilson right up at the top. And they're actually the ones chasing a lead for the moment. There's only 1 frag between the teams. As it stands, this could still go either way. Both teams looking to put themselves on match point in this best of 5.
And they're both rather well split up. You saw Silence just taking that frag, but it left him really weak. And of course, there's the comms to notify him of that. We've got Kilson coming back up to Rocket Launcher, and you can see these 2 totems on the Tri-Bolt exit. It's going to be really well set up for this protection. So he's going to be looking at both ways. Silence up killing himself out, looking for a better spawn and looking for a better chance at this one. And potentially getting the steal in here. Kilson has to be careful not to drop down himself as this protection comes up. There it is. There's the pickup. Oh, but he's taken out mid-air by the starter shotgun. Zron getting the pickup now, even leaving up the Mega for his teammate, and now he's going on a bit of a rampage. This is going to be really huge for Myztro.
That was insane. The damage again, output from Silence, it was massive because Kilson had a good stack at that stage. Zron feeling comfortable without having picked up the Mega. He does run into 2 totems, which is maybe a blessing in disguise. He gets rid of them, but he does give it the last 5 or so seconds of this protection. Kilson trying to get what he can from him. Now the power-up's faded away. Avic's been taken down. Silence will still die, so they're able to keep the scores completely level.
Yeah, this is a great lockdown for both of them here. Kilson looking for this armor. Don't stare into the sun too much, though. What a great rail just coming around that corner. He eats quite a bit of damage, but at least he's got the pickup, so certainly worthwhile here. Fortunately, those are his totems and not the enemies. So he's going to be back up on the health as well, popping the piercing sight, getting ready for this fight on the jump pad, but not getting a single point of damage for all the setup that was leading into it.
I'm really liking Avic's Galena play, actually.
Yeah.
The way that he kind of finds a spot on the map where he can just put a couple of totems down, and that isn't quite noticed by Myztro very early on. As soon as they get taken down, he's got a new spot that he's playing with, and they're kind of doing a good job of just keeping Myztro away from it. Look at that, pushing in with the LG. The amount of damage in advance that there was from Kilson, that was massive. 31 right now, 32. There is going to be a refrag from Silence onto Kilson. But Avic having a fantastic game right now.
And again, just Avic's raw aim this series has been incredibly on point. So you wonder what maps allow him to really leverage that as much as possible. And it must be said that, yeah, Blood Covenant, maybe not one of those maps, but here on Ruin so far, he's got all kinds of time to lay in that LG and rail. Kilson, though, able to keep things really relatively even for himself. We got 3 seconds to this quad, and of course with the silence up going down, that's going to be leaving Zron in an awkward state. You know, fair enough to him. He did try, he did make an effort on it, but that's going to be Kilson with the quad, looking for a bit of health before going on some rampage. But look at this. Who is this firing off against him, just not caring whether or not he's got the quad?
That Tri-Bolt was hurting quite a bit. Avic manages to take down Silence, so Kilson does secure the heavy. Gets rid of the totem. We're going to find Zron just going up the bounce pad. Tries the ledge grab so he can dodge away again, but is not in time. We've now got a 5 frag advantage for Big. Looking to cause upsets over here.
And now they're starting to move a little bit more as of a blob, but Avic goes down. This is going to be difficult for Kilson to extract from. He's going to do it via a grave, as it turns out. But Avic is coming right back into it off the spawn, not letting go of Silence Sep. And Silence is able to dive down towards Ron's totem, get back in on the health, but flying back into lower rail, Avic just doesn't care.
He's just going for it right now.
Yeah.
He's been hitting so many amazing things. Kilson's on his back. There is a rail from Zron, but he's flanked by Avic yet again. Still, it's a tentative lead nonetheless. We've got under 4 minutes to go in this. Possibly 2 power-ups remaining. And you know what? We could get to the time at this point.
We could. Just because as we see these scores get very, very close, especially close to the end of the frag limit, just diving in for some of these frags. Now, I say that knowing how Avic's been playing, but diving in towards some of these frags is not going to be all that appealing. Every single frag is going to be vital here. Avic, though, looking for more players on the jump pad, his favorite spot with that LG. He's going to be getting a fair amount of damage off on that and maintaining now a 5 frag lead. And this close to the end of the frag limit, that's kind of scary.
It's very, very scary. And the heavy on Myztro going for the heavy with just a few seconds until the protection spawns. Looks like they've ignored. Actually, no, I think Zron picked it up. He's going to be climbing up the eye. There's 5 seconds now until it appears. Zron takes down Kilson. He's trying to defend versus Avic, but he's got him. There's Silence. He's got an enormous stack. This is a big, big play to make. And he needs to get some ammunition, he needs to get some weapons, and he needs to start getting on a bit of a rampage. And it's important that Zron is not getting caught out by Avic and Kilson at this point. Oh, there's a grenade? Where the hell did that... I don't know where that grenade came from, guys.
Mind of its own. But you can see that Silence's movement is very energized here. He's, he certainly knows there's an opportunity. Time is short, frags are short, but with this protection, if he can find somebody, he can leverage that into a. Oh, okay,
I'm expecting anything to hit right now.
That pineapple looked dangerous, but 40 to 44. Can close this thing up very quickly, but as the protection runs out, Avik is going to have not so much stack-wise, and honestly not a lot weapon-wise either. Throwing out a lot of tribal down here, just trying to get some sonar, but he's going to be catching both players down in the heavy armor room, and not hitting either of those early rails is not going to be helping him out.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously say he wants to be connecting those, but that can be impactful at all, because now Zron and Silencev can feel quite comfortable with the amount of control they have. Avik doesn't have much to work with, and there's going to be a 2-on-1 push. They've managed to get the 2 last frags completely free. Kilson being pressured over here above J-Spot. Oh, I thought that was a double whammy for just a moment.
Yeah, I like that Kilson's looking for this angle, and yeah, Avik finishing off with the machine gun. Beautiful stuff there. That was even from rocket launcher, so really good communication on that point. Kilson's looking for another rail going down towards heavy, and that 2 might be enough to save Avik and set him up for that frag. And even this trade is worthwhile here. Again, 43 to 46, it's close, but even if Big starts trading frags, it's okay. They're going to hit that 50 point first.
Exactly. Silencev trying to hide a little bit in preparation for this absolutely pivotal quad. They should have precise timing on it. Zron's getting taken down a lot right now. Silencev's coming in, trying to do big amounts of damage, but it is, well, speak of the devil, Big themselves doing all of the work. They only need one. They've got the quad. They're looking at taking the lead in this series, trying to cause some upsets, as this would put them on match point in these quarters.
I appreciate that Kilson waited there for a second, wondering if Myztro was going to rush out towards the jump pad side, just because they thought, hey, well, there he is, but there's that rail, and there's the quad, and that's going to put them 2-on-1. Zoot.
What do you want?
I'm not going to make you eat a shoe, but I think we're close to a situation like that.
Yeah, they're playing really, really well. And you can see that Zron and Silencev look a teeny bit deflated from that. Hey, I'm gonna, now we're here, I'm gonna face the situation, okay? And Big have been playing immensely. They've been the better team so far. The control's been great. There's been a lot of consistency through all of the shots. And you've got to say that, I mean, Avik's nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, his rails and LG has just been fantastic today. And if that maintains, you see players like Toxic, and I love Toxic, he's great. But from map to map, his accuracy can change a fair bit, I think it's fair to say. So if Avik can keep on his accuracy like this, oh, this is a little worrisome looking from Zron. What does this mean? He's brooding. He's thinking.
Just thoughts, deep.
Yeah.
Concentration, focus.
Yeah. But yeah, if Avik can keep doing what he's doing, even on Molten Falls, I think he's got a good chance at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I still feel like I would lean on Machiavelli right now and his prediction. Our analyst is hot today.
He's the best, and he's here for a good reason. His predictions never go awry.
But you know what? I mean, the way that Big's been playing compared to Myztro could go 3-1.
Yeah.
We could definitely see some and very interesting semi-final. It could be Blind Trust going up versus Big.
Now, as far as weak points go, what do you think happened to Myztro on that as the resident Myztro fanboy?
The resident Zron and Silencev fanboy in some regards.
Sure.
It's just been, the control hasn't been tight enough. But you know what? Let's cross that bridge when we get to it, because we're on Molten Falls, guys. It's map 4 in the quarterfinal of the QuakeCon 2v2 Open. Myztro versus Big, and Zron is up on camera first.
Oh man, I love this tri-bolt already. It's going to be first blood going to Silencev, taking down Kilson. But Zron just laying in with all this tri-bolt, trying to get a secure grab of this rail. But look at this LG coming out, a great timing and great focusing. I'm sure Silencev is wondering where Zron ran off to. Well, someplace a little bit safer, even if it doesn't mean getting weapons.
Silencev was with him though, which is the odd thing.
Yeah, so, he left.
Yeah.
He said, this doesn't look good. I'll see you later.
But I don't really like that. They need to kind of stick together in these kind of positions. And if one of them is having doubts and the other isn't, and I mean, it's never going to be, conducive to good play, I think.
Maybe. I mean, it also could have been a thing where, hey, we're not going to get out of this alive, but maybe one of us can. That is also a potential. But as we get into this next play for the Mega, Avik is going to be getting the grab for rail. And they're both looking at it from the same angle. They're going to have limited options
Where's the
for
pressure?
pressuring this, yeah.
So, we get it for free. Wonderful.
And this map is interesting, Molten Falls is, just because you can have even the items be kind of off timing and cyclable, but there's so much distance between them that you kind of know that your opponent is already going to be set up there and you're going to be running into a fight if you go directly from one to the other. But Kilson down to 3 HP, still thinking he can do some damage, and you know what? I wouldn't actually doubt it. Avic, though.
What?
Rails and LG, I keep saying it.
What?
Avic's aim is just incredible, and you can add a double barrel shotgun to that list as well.
There's so little health for Avic and Kilson, and for
Who needs
3 lives, they just weren't able to take him down. Zron looming over the top, it does eventually manage to kill him. It's 6 for 6, but we've got to say, a blunder for Myztro.
At least Theron's got some totems up. He's going to be looking for a lot more health, but here comes the quad. It's going to be a lot of bodies falling on it, but it's going to be Myztro getting a relatively clean pickup with a lot of health and a great rail across the map on Avic. But let's take a little bit of a listen at Myztro.
No, Mega. Heavy now, I'll take heavy.
Mega 46.
Control. Galena on heavy, I might die. I don't know where is she, probably rail or top.
Top.
Coming.
Yeah, nice job.
On rail,
Okay.
all squad, he's cheating.
He's on a nail gun.
I think he still has ability on him.
Mega's 46.
Yep. Heavy like 49, let's wait for heavy. They are not here.
Have a good top.
It leaves me wondering how quickly that call out for I lost quad was made. You know? It's usually not a panic moment, but it's an elevated moment. It's something you want your teammate to know right away. But Zron, I mean, he's still got, look at this Mega, he's got armor, he's got totems, and, you know, a great rail to boot. With everybody down here at LG, it's going to be tough to escape this fight, especially with the totems kind of blocking their way. But look at this. He just keeps on running out and escaping, taking nearly no damage. And Zron didn't even see him there. Avic is just a ghost right now.
I like that Zron went for the rail over at the player by railgun spawn, because it's easier for Silencer to support him in that instance. I thought that was just a neat little point.
Yeah. But on a map like this, it becomes a little bit more important to have very specific callouts for where you spot opponents and where they're headed. In Awoken, maybe you can leave that to the side a little bit because you're going to be running into them all the time anyway. Here, it's so easy to lose them.
Nice drive by rail from Avic. Silencer continues to put pressure onto Kilson. Zron drops down, he's probably going to fall, but again, Avic continues to take damage. Heavy gets taken immediately. And Mega by Avic shortly after. That heavy was taken by Myztro, however. We've got the power-up spawning in just a second, and there's so much damage raining down on it. And Kilson gets pushed out. He gets the power-up, but it's completely denied. Myztro will retain their lead. And now trying to pressure onto heavy.
It was a fantastic grenade from up top, but I mean, it just goes to show you don't want to be standing on the power-up as it's spawning up, especially not there. And no safety rails. None of these Elder Gods were really big into safety rails. But Avic, his rails are anything but safe as we've got all this LG coming out. Oh my god, this spec is just getting melted away. The shotgun is finally going to finish him off, but that certainly cost him.
Gonna drop down. Kilson's gonna get a small surprise. Good damage, and somehow the rail comes out still. Avic on the sideline supports just in time. Zron gonna drop. Couple of 25s have been taken and a totem. He almost walks into it. Will eventually kill it off. And we've got heavy in a second. Is this something that Myztro can get themselves onto? There's Tribal raining down from above.
And again, they're, like you said, they're both so weak. Finally, Avic goes down, but they were just doing so much damage with just like 25 health. And a great rail from Kilson there. Just pluck him out of midair. 1 frag in the lead. And oh man, everybody, that big is up 2-1. This could put them into the semifinals.
It really, really could. Myztro, again, going to have to dig deep over here. Certainly considered a team that were almost guaranteeing themselves a spot in top 4, but there's been a turbulent last week or so in preparation. I think they're still going to be pushing as hard as they can to get what they want from this.
And then some. Silence up playing the classic game around this wall. Which way is he going to go? But the grenade to rail. So very satisfying. But we got 20 seconds to a quad, and being top of the map with a railgun and a rocket would certainly be helpful. Kilson looking for 1 out of 2 at the very least, but he's getting back through the teleporter. Getting the pickup for, oh wow, a free railgun. All right, that's certainly going to help out. With everybody else back over by the heavy armor, they might not be able to even really show up for this this quad. Kilson's piercing sight is going to tell him exactly where to place these rockets. If not his own body, Zron goes down. And Silencep was facing the wrong way as well. Now we got Kilson on the quad, taking away a Mega. As players spawn back up, it's going to be really difficult to avoid him.
That's heavy. Should know that it's been acquired. Has got the rail. A little bit slow to switch over towards it. He gets shots from behind. He's going to find Silencep, who can't quite take him down. Still more pressure, and Kilson not feeling immensely comfortable to just walk into all of that chaos.
And even one frag from Kilson here would be fantastic as the quad runs out. He's at 15 health, but so far in this match, that hasn't seemed to matter very much. Avic getting another great LG on Silencep, 21 and 24. And so with all the trading hands that quad did, it didn't change things too much just yet.
Oh, not yet at all, but this lead is going to start feeling good for Big. How much further is this going to allow them to push themselves?
They're putting a lot of emphasis on this this top position by Nailgun with the 225s, where you're seeing them do a little bit of damage, look like they're leaving the room, bait the jump to the 25, which is pretty risky by itself, and then capitalize on that frag. So if it's repeatable and Myztro doesn't quite get the hint that that's what's going on, then we could see Big do quite well here. And Kilson dealing with all that LG, getting a great rail.
I think that might be an overcommitment from Myztro in that position. They've lost out on the heavy armor afterwards. I would have liked them just to go with some straight circulations of the items. Don't push too far for the frags. If you've got control of the map and you've got the stack, then the frags will come. Don't put yourself out of position and make it harder for yourself to attack the next item.
Very wise words there, Zoot. Sage advice. I mean, it's classic Quake 101 stuff, but even here, it bears repeating. But oh my god, all this LG coming out of Kilson, and even without any kind of real armor, he's still looking for more, especially if Silencep isn't looking for him at all. But yeah, don't go through that TP. That would be dangerous.
Oh, Silencep finds him regardless. We've got 4 seconds until this spawns. It's going to rain down a few more. There's grenades too. They're still going to be able to take him out. And that's going to be Zron, who gets himself onto the protection. Heavy not up for a while, but he's found another player. He's just got to watch out that he doesn't get taken off the map. He needs to hold on to this. He needs to put Myztro back in the lead if he wants to see themselves challenge on the tiebreaker map.
That's what it might have to come down here, as Zron just gets denied. And you can see that a lot of this is less about like damaging and killing the protection carrier and more about just keeping them away. If they make a jump, that rail, that LG will keep them off your back. But there's the bait through the teleporter for the totem frag. Always the best.
Well, it's been very strange like item rotations that we've had. We've had some desyncs and we've had them synchronizing together. This is right now more the latter. They both want to be challenging for the heavy armor at the moment. We've got, I think that was Silencep went below, Zron went above, but it was unsuccessful on both parts. That should mean they fall back on the mega health on the respawn, but Zron, he just keeps on pushing right now. This man is hungry.
Yeah, and that armor just disappeared, absolutely. So that entire fight, well, it's going to be Zron getting the pickup from that. It's going to be 30 to 29, just one frag between them. And I really do hope this goes to the frag limit and not the time limit. They both have a lot of intensity here. Their aggression has been absolutely necessary on Molten Falls, especially down here at the heavy armor. Looking for that last rocket to do the damage, but Zron still has plenty of health to fall back on.
Who's going to be able to get that mega health? It looks like it was just picked up by Big. Looking for mid-air. He got a bit more damage afterwards, but it is going to be Kilson surviving. Silencep now looking to defend this position, but he's been totally flanked. There's a frag advantage now for Big. We can see the teammates sticking together a little bit.
Everybody fighting for totem placement on the nailgun area, but Kilson's going to be down below. Great choke point usage. Good switch over to LG. Not quite going to be able to finish that fight, but with 7 HP, can he even show up to this quad and do anything? Well, he's got one rail off. He's looking for more, but at least it's Avic on the quad. This is so very dangerous for Myztro.
He just stole it away completely. There's a bit of a trap that he's walking into. He puts down the totem, but it's going to get taken. Zron has got hold of it. He's going to be able to get himself a totem back up, so now he's not railable or anything like that. He can now apply pressure on the heavy area. He's going to be hearing that it's been taken. One rail on him. He needs to find some splash or a rail shot. He just elects to fall away instead.
This could easily be disastrous for Big, losing out on that quad. It was given to them so easily, but again, the long-range sniper shots are going to be so very good out of Big, so that's going to keep things close. Avic with a Mega and quite a bit of armor, just dealing with a close range switch over from Rail. And even through all those totems, he's able to get the frag on his run. Here comes Silence Up. Silence Up is not getting any kind of support right now. In fact, it's going to be Kilson likely to finish off that frag. No, the fight's still going.
I feel like the last few heavy armors have been going the way of Big, and it's such a vital resource to have lockdown of. Myztro, I think if they want to start taking a lead and holding a lead, they need to get control of that item more. They managed to get a free frag onto Avik. Kilson's over above Mega Health. There's no pressure on that. This looks like they're saving their position to get that heavy. I don't dislike this at all.
Of course, Kilson's been taking a bit of a break from most of the fighting in order to get a bit of a stack here, especially as Myztro set up a little bit on the armor, so the damage is good so far. The time spent was worthwhile. But now he's going to be looking for anybody to kind of enter into his circle, but nobody's really willing to do so. I mean, we are going to see this potentially slow down a little bit. I might have to eat my words. I thought this was going to be, balls to the wall the whole time. But right now, Myztro is really putting the brakes on things.
I think Myztro are going to go for heavy just before. All right, so they've got a stack to work with. Now Zron's looking for a way into the power-up. He's going to go on the lower side. He's found one player trying to push him away from the protection. Silence, it falls off the map. That's going to be Avik and Kilson getting hold of the power-up. And they've got a 4-frag advantage right now. This is absolutely catastrophic for Myztro. Kilson now, he's got the piercing side up. He should be able to lock down a target. His stack is fine.
He's able to see the targets, but as far as locking them down, that's going to be another story altogether. He's got a good read here. Well, I mean, the heavy armor's coming up, and it's going to be tempting no matter what, so that's going to be yet another frag as Zron is taken down. Oh, here's a bit of a run-in with Silence. I'm sorry, that was Zron as a fresh spawn. I'm amazed if he's going to be able to get out of here.
6 frags advantage right now. Avik does go down. They find another, but Kilson, he's got the shotgun. He had the surprise. He's got a light armor to work with. And Sarseb's just raining from above. Avik gets hold of the Mega Health. Zron now, perfect timing on the heavy armor. But he puts a totem down, trying to get some damage off. He's not hitting a lot. There's going to be Sarseb to help him out. That keeps him alive. Now Sarseb going up against Kilson. Can he stay there? Oh, there's another mutual.
Wow. Yeah, I can't believe he made that with 30 HP, even saving his teammate. Kilson finally whittles him down with the starter shotgun. But now we are at 45 seconds to the last quad, and that could indeed cap things off. But even the setup for the quad could cap things off for Big, as they're now only 4 frags away from that limit. Soundstep is going to be looking for a rail in mid, but no targets are presenting themselves at the moment. We've got a heavy armor being delayed, actually. They're both looking at it, but not quite going for it. There's the pickup, and here's the move back in through... Ooh, okay, they're standing their ground.
Yeah, they don't want to overcommit to the situation right now, but they know that if they go in and they get a trade that doesn't favor them, then they can't do much. They really have to make a play for the quad, but there's a minute left and they have to catch up 7 kills. This is so unlikely right now. We're going to have to see some unbelievable plays. Kilson's sat on this. He's getting railed down. Damage, but it's going to be a shot onto Zron. Finds another on a Silent Seb. Big looking to take themselves through to the semi-finals. They only need 2 more.
And Kilson's looking for these rails. He's looking for the LG. He's looking for any kind of comms, any kind of inkling of where his opponents are going to be trying to hide off. Silence Up goes down. There's 1 to go. It's a mega. It's an armor. He is fully stacked. He's got the piercing sight. How could you fail? You don't when you're Kilson.
Wow. Kilson and Avik. They're going through to the semis. They make an upset and push Myztro out.
They make a what?
An upset. No?
Are you upset?
I'm upset. No, I'm not. This is what I'd consider an upset, though.
Really fantastic stuff. I mean, it was a solid 3-on-1. You can see the immediate, I want to call it relief here. Quite a bit of sweat up there, in fact. I mean, you can see that the nerves were certainly shook up. But a sigh of relief, a smile of relief, and they're looking good moving into the semis.
Definitely. I mean, it's a result that I'm sure Zron and Silence would like to change, but I don't want to linger on that. This is a really good performance from Kilson and Avik. They should be incredibly happy with that. That's such strong play from them. And of course, we have got our lovely Machiavelli rejoining us.
What a game. What a game.
What a game indeed.
I'm so close to my 3-2. I thought we were going to get a 5th map, but
Oh, hey.
It didn't happen. Well, now I'm back.
He nailed it, basically. I'll give that a
I
win.
wasn't
he
going to
did.
quote. I wasn't going to brag, but
that was a
you know,
great prediction, man. No, you just credit where credit's due. That was a great prediction.
I can't take any of
All
that.
right,
I mean,
3-1.
it all depended on whether or not Kilson was able to flip that switch and go crazy.
He was going crazy.
You know, it honestly didn't start. They lost that first map. It didn't start out that great. You know, Myztro had a nice little lead extension in the first map. As I look at my notes, between about 10 minutes and 12 minutes from a power up to another power up, they really extended the lead by a good 10 frags. Really took control, and Big really came back with vengeance. I think in the next few maps, honestly, power up control. We've been talking about it all day, and there's some great runs they had early in the game to extend the run, and we have some highlights as well, like showing how far ahead they were. Silent Step does a great quad run in the second map, and normally that would be enough to like win you a game, get you in a nice, comfortable lead, and they still were like 10 frags behind. It just showed. It's an impressive run, honestly, but it just wasn't enough as we look at it here. I mean, all right, is this my? I think this is the. Making sure we're on the right highlight here, because it really just showed a lot of how Big was in control of the map, and just. I think it's really hard to extend the lead at this level because everybody's doing this 2-on-1 thing, and you even if you get a frag, a lot of times you're trading. It's like I'm getting 1 or we're getting 2, and then we're losing 1 to get that 2, and it's a steady grind. Like, oh, we gained 1, oh, we gained 2, and you just play those little mini games. But sometimes it seemed like Big really would go on a run and string off like 6 to 10 in a row.
Against all odds, more or less, just because we saw so many times where an Avic had no stack, no control, still hitting just rails after rails.
I was amazed actually by that Awoken performance. I thought that was amazing from Big. What a lead that they had, and I mean, just immaculate stuff. And this is at the point where you've got the power up. You're thinking, great, I could finally get something done, but you're looking at the difference, the time left. What a play though from Silent Step.
It's honestly, it's a great quad run by Silent Step, but we've seen it with other teams as well. When you get off to a bad start against this quality of opponent, it's hard to dig out of that hole. And even with a great run like that, they were still down 13, 14 frags. It just didn't make a difference. And even going into the third map, there was a key run here. Another clip around the 10-minute mark. I thought it was a big power-up run for Big. Wait, yeah, a big power-up run for Big.
It's impossible not to do.
Jeez, it just happens. But yeah, as we see going into here, you know, he's going to pop vision. Yeah, this we're earlier. We're early, a little early here. We're getting some more highlights, but there is a little clip here afterwards. I thought it was pretty clean because you see that the map is in the balance right now. It's 32-30. Getting this next power-up, pushing your team closer to 50. That 50 frag limit is key. Once you get into 40, we've seen it many times, teams kind of tighten up because they know they can't give up any more frags. So it's so important. I feel like I'm on repeat all the time about power-ups, but I know there's a lot of newer players and people are trying to team up with their friends, and it's really important to coordinate here. And you know, the pop vision, he's obviously communicating, hey, we're going to push them together here. I'm going to drop some rockets, you know, protect you. And look at this, a nice quad run, the 35-31 by the time they clean it up, and then you're going to go on a run of your own. He gets popped over there with the tri-bolt. That was kind of funny here.
I think what Machiavelli is saying is that if you're new and you're playing, don't be afraid to yell at your friends and your maybe even significant others
That's
to show up at power up.
Absolutely.
Like, be mean.
Yeah, where the heck were you, man?
How do you do it any other way? I don't understand.
Exactly. That's the only way I know.
You can get rid of the emotions when you're at that liquid level, you know, but when you're starting out, yeah, yell at your teammates.
It's not right. I might yell at Jason, but it doesn't make it right.
Everybody yells at
Deservedly so, but I think we're actually going to see a little bit of them here with Kilson up on the stage. Congrats to them.
Thank you very much, Suhar, for that one. And yes, everyone does yell at me. But you know what? We should be yelling about this man here because somehow, honestly, you guys had such a tough way of getting here. It was such an awkward combination of you and Avic, obviously being longtime pro players. First of all, how does it feel to beat these two? That's not an easy feat.
Absolutely not easy. I mean, we know how to approach them and everything because, of course, we played a couple of practice or more like a tons of practice together in Europe. But in tournament, it's always something different to play. And yeah, we kind of kept improving being here in the US. And from game to game, we got better and better and better feeling. We've been talking before, how could we approach them like on that map. And yeah, things worked out pretty well for us.
And I have to ask, do you think being on this side of the bracket actually favors you guys because you're playing European teams that you've been playing with and against the last, 6-7 months?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe on the one hand, but on the other hand, it doesn't matter anymore because, you know, you gotta beat the teams anyways at some point. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to be in the top 4 now, that's for sure. But could have also worked on the other side of the bracket, and then, you know, semis, which are whoever wins gets the grand final, and yeah, literally everyone can beat everyone. That's the way it is.
And I got to bring it back to the beginning because Avik originally wasn't your first partner choice when it came to 2v2. Originally, you were partnered with Vu. How did this whole thing come together? Like, how did you and Avik get partnered?
I mean, we came together when Cypher had his visa problems getting to the US. And that's literally been the point where Avik approached me and we had, you know, some talks together, had some tryouts, if you want to call it like that. And yeah, things been working out at the beginning, kinda hard, let's say. So we really had a hard time dealing with our different dual play styles. Especially my team experience is not as big as Avik's, but he really got me good into the team mode, and yeah, we're just working together like a unit right now and like a machine, literally.
And speaking of that, you talked about you usually being like a dual player and not doing team modes often. Did you do some sort of self-reflection to figure out like what can I do to improve myself to help Avik? Like how did you approach this whole 2v2 concept?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we had a lot of talks before, like 1.5 months before QuakeCon, we came together and we discussed a lot of things, like, you know, how to do certain situations, what happens if, and all these things. But also, like every map loss, I'm kind of rethinking, you know, what we could have done different, what could have I done different to, you know, get a better outcome of that. For example, like with the Dewey and Gapi match we played against, we lost 2 in a winner bracket. Yeah, and then just go on and work on that, and next comes.
And then in this matchup, obviously, Myztro CIS is no easy feat at all. Did you guys have a specific plan come into this game of like what you wanted to do and what you wanted to accomplish other than winning?
I mean, since we are together now since a while, we know our jobs, like what to do and on what map, where to hold a position, when they come from what position, where to defend off. And that's one thing I think, especially on the last map, we could see we did very well actually, like defending them and fighting them, how to approach them, push them off the high ground, or when they needed to drop for the power-up, for example. We've been 1 ground lower, so it's not easy hit for them, like easy damage, because when you're on the first floor over there, it's just easy damage, and you got to be careful about that for sure. And yeah, I mean, that's one. The dream is still true. The dream is still true.
It's true. You could be lifting that today and potentially even tomorrow. 2 last questions for you. Blind Trust, your next match. It's Claws, it's Tox, some of the best aimers in Europe. How do you feel going into that match?
I mean, very good. I think I don't need to tell you that I like to play against Claws anyways. I mean, you might remember from Italy when we played in duel. I played him 3 times in a row, literally. So, yeah, I mean, these guys have insane aim, for sure. My aim is pretty good too, Avex is. And yeah, they're gonna have a rough time this, yeah.
Okay, I hope you can back that up. And then last question before we do go back to the desk. The duel tournament tomorrow. Last time that I got to cast you live here was in the Italian tournament where you won. And you performed flawlessly. Your rockets were fantastic. Have you been practicing duel at all, or have you been just completely focused on this 2v2 tournament?
You know, I had like this filled glass of water, if you like try to imitate, and I just made it empty and filled it with team. So I didn't play duel at all, and yeah, just, you know, it's not a focus really, because it's quite difficult, quite a risky tournament, best of 1, single elimination. So yeah, that's like a super tough one. It's not really comes down to whoever plays best wins, because it's just 1 map, so you can be lucky with the map. That's like the thing, the 1 point, and maybe favors one or the other player just. That's kind of the risky way. So there's no focus at all in duel. It's just 2v2. That's what I'm here for. And I think we just saw.
I like this new Kilson. I like him a lot. And congratulations again on that victory, man. And you'll be obviously playing the semifinals a little bit later on today. Guys, we do have to head back to the desk, unfortunately. I know how you love to see me and Kilson. Let's go back to them and see what they have to say.